Hiya! Welcome back to the Mastery Rank 0 challenge. Today, we're getting into the real endgame. Since I've already beat my first goal of Netrocells in the last episode, now we're moving on to our second and final goal, Elite Deep Archimedea. So, there's a lot to prepare for to really get into Elite Deep Archimedea. As noted in the last episode, I'll need to get rank 5 with the Cavia, but along with that, I'll be showing you all the semi-finalized builds that I'm going to be looking to use for this Elite Deep Archimedea, as well as one more special tool I haven't revealed just yet. With the Netrocell run over, there was one big thing that I struggled with the most during it, and that was energy. I didn't think my energy problems would be that bad as I was using Equilibrium, but the issue with that mod is that while it converts health orbs into energy, that means I have to actually kill enemies to get those health orbs. Not that I can't kill enemies, but it's just not realistically fast enough to keep up a constant supply of energy going. So I searched for a while for a decent solution, and eventually one of my chatters in my Twitch stream, link in the description by the way, had a genius solution that I didn't think of at all. While the Nautilus is a great companion that we considered, it's really hard to get. Comparatively, the Diriga is much more easy to obtain, and the suggestion was to utilize it in conjunction with the Archon Stretch mod, as the Diriga can use its abilities to give me energy, which is much better than my current solution. So I headed over to the market and took about 2 seconds to get the blueprint and start crafting it. I also intended to use the Sweeper, a shotgun weapon for companions that you can get with the Carrier Companion, which I already owned. With my new companion, I also wanted to grab a new mod that allow it to do more than just help me regain energy. And that mod is Duplex Bond, which will allow me to also prime enemies. This means that I'm spreading status effects around to nearby enemies to help increase my overall damage. I do that by putting a lot of elemental mods on my companion weapon, the Sweeper, then using the Duplex Bond mod, which will summon clones of my companion to damage more enemies. Now, for the most exciting part of this video, the couple of mods I obtained over the past few weeks. First, I managed to luckily pick up the Energy Nexus mod, which would also help with my abysmal energy crisis. It simply gives a flat energy regeneration every second.
Oh my god, I just got it.
No way! Okay, wait, I actually have to get out of this mission. Hold on. No way, I just got that drop. Oh my god, that's actually insane. Next up, after literally 3 millennia of grinding for the mod, during a bounty, I finally find the most legendary rare item that I could possibly have on this account.
Oh my god. No way! Oh my god, it's real! Oh my god, no way!
I got it. Condition Overload. The mod I've been trying to find for the past 3 videos is in my possession. I immediately put it onto my melee, having to rank it up quickly to slot it into my build. Hurry! Subscribe before Condition Overload the Witch brews you a potion of unluckiness! With those 2 amazing mods acquired, there was one final thing I wanted for my melee build, and that was a melee arcane. In particular, I'm going for Melee Influence, which spreads melee status effects whenever you deal electricity damage with your weapon. I can go grab that by defeating the book you can find at missions in the Sanctum, which works out since I'm going to be grabbing some standing there regardless. This arcane is great paired with Condition Overload because it'll allow me to have status effects already on enemies to be able to have that extra damage immediately. That also means I'd need to switch up the build a bit. I don't have Focus Radon, which is a mod that gives radiation damage on your melee weapon. Radiation is super good against the Murmur, but I don't have it, so I stuck to electricity and gas as my elements. Electricity is good to synergize with my new arcane, and it's also strong against the Murmur. Gas isn't as good as radiation, but it's still really helpful with Mag's abilities, as pulling all of the enemies together and then having gas clouds that can kill them is useful. While streaming, I was generously gifted a mag skin, and while it was technically against the original rules of the challenge, my chat decided I should use it anyway. This cosmetic would drastically increase my power level, allowing me to demolish Elite Deep Archimedea later. My first look was Carrot Prime, an all-orange mag with green bunny ears. A little bit later though, I was also gifted a color palette, so I switched up the look a bit, going for a more legitimately good looking mag, sorry to the Carrot Prime enjoyers, having less of a meme look. We might bring back Carrot Prime later for endgame though. So, Let's talk about Elite Deep Archimedea. This is my final goal of the challenge, and once I beat this, I would consider myself having beat Warframe at Mastery Rank 0. I also go ahead and grab rank 4 and 5 with a caveat while I'm here. The reality is that there's a couple of modifiers that make this challenge really difficult, if not completely impossible. One of those is the gear embargo modifier, which will prevent me from summoning in any specters, using energy pads, and more. If I get that modifier for the week, I'll have to wait until the next rotation to try again. As for game modes, I predict that the Exterminate and Alchemy missions are going to be the easiest. If I get these, I'll be able to trivially accomplish them. Survival and Mirror Defense are going to be a little bit harder, but still somewhat doable. There's a few modifiers in those game modes specifically that I think are going to make them more difficult, like the Luminous that drain your health. Now, let's be real. I don't know that doing Disruption is even possible at all. The Demolishes are extremely powerful and my weapons look like pool noodles trying to hit them. Of course, with all the additional tools I'm going to use, it could be possible, but I think by far it's the most difficult and hopefully I don't have to deal with it. Now, to guarantee that I get the gear that I'm looking for, I plan on selling the other gear that I own, which would cause the game to re-roll my options, and I'd do that until I got my mag and my 3 weapons for me to be able to use them in the run while still getting all of the points.
Are we ready? We're not gonna do it, but we're gonna scope it out a little bit. Okay, so they did give me the one thing that I can't use. Wait, they actually gave me all of the stuff that I have that I can't use. That's so funny. Oh my god.
But at the end of the day, I went ahead and had a look at my options for Deep Archimedea for the week. Unfortunately, we got a pretty bad modifier, but otherwise it was still fairly playable. That wasn't the problem though. My initial plan to sell gear that I couldn't use ended up not working very well at all. The gear that I got was only things that I didn't want to use. All of the weapons were story weapons, which would suck to sell, but it wasn't completely out of the question. However, they also gave me Excalibur as my warframe. Excalibur Umbra is the only other frame that I own. Just a small, tiny little issue. You can't sell Excalibur Umbra, or his weapon for that matter, which meant that if I wanted to do Deep Archimedea, I'd either have to wait until the week where I got lucky, or use Excalibur Umbra.
Okay, so this is a problem. So I can't even sell Excalibur Umbra if I want to. So I don't really know how I'm... Okay. So I can't even do it. Like for this week, I just straight up can't even do it if I wanted to. Okay. That's a problem for me.
So I decided to wait a little bit to see if I can get the perfect Deep Archimedea run. In the meantime though, I finished my preparations. I finally finished up my builds, which I'll show off in my Discord, which is in the description. I upgraded my Necromech and my Arc Gun to make them more viable in Elite Deep Archimedea. I grab up some more Clem Spectres, build some more air support charges, craft some of my super secret special Spectres, the Stalker from Nightwave, and get really used to talking to Lloyd, the robot one. And that's all for this episode. It might take me a little bit to find a Deep Archimedea that's actually playable, but in the meantime, I'm going to keep messing around with new styles and new kinds of content, like in my last video. I appreciate all of your support and comments, and have a nice rest of your day.